welcome back to Clair from scratch. Okay, we're getting through some challenging material, but hopefully with the exercises that we came up with, you'll be able to prevent the rhythmic delays and be able to get through this smoothly. Okay, so now let's go back a bit and kind of put in some pedaling as our final element here, okay? Let's go ahead and copy a clean version of this, these two measures here. Copy that over, and let's bring this over here, get to a new page, paste that down. Okay, I'm going to make this a bit smaller so we can have some room to draw our pedaling. Now, the simplest pedaling would be to simply go like this and hold it down. And some people do that. It's a lovely effect. It has this beautiful blending effect, which Debussy is so well known for. If you prefer to have something slightly less muddy, okay, you might want to try this pedaling. And I'm going to just draw this out. If you saw the pedal lesson, you'll understand how this works. I'm going to hold the pedal through here and change it here in this beat. And then change it here, change it here, change it here. Okay? If you haven't seen the pedaling lesson, be sure to review that. You'll have a better understanding of the basic principles of how to connect your pedal and coordinate that with your hands. Okay, so let me just, I'll walk you through the pedaling and say it out loud very slowly. Okay, so from the previous measure, your pedal is already down. When your hand comes down, you go up, down. Catch it before you leave the note. Hold the pedal through. Now up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Let me play it in real time, and you can hear how this sounds. Another variation of that, if you want to have the effect of this holding longer, because that is technically a note that's supposed to hold through for the whole measure, what you could do is you could kind of change the pedaling to be like this. Change here, hold it for the whole measure here, and then start to flutter it here, here, here. And that variation would sound like this. So from the previous measure, up, down. You could hold this for the whole first measure, and then change here. Okay? So which way should you do it? I leave it up to you. Music is art. You know, it's really subject to the tastes of the player. That's part of what makes music so wonderful. Yes, we have rules and certain ways of doing things, but there's also great latitude and great flexibility. So you may see me being a little inconsistent sometimes with my interpretations or fingerings. You know what? That's license for you to go ahead and experiment to try to find what you like as well. Okay, now that we've had the foundation of these two measures, we worked through them so carefully, I think we can go ahead and look at the next few measures, and you're going to see that they're not so bad. They have a lot of similarities with what we just worked on, with a few little exceptions, okay? So let me go ahead and snip the next portions out together, and I'm going to go ahead and snip this measure. In fact, let me do that one more time. I need to do a better job of catching that F clef in the bottom. You can see that there, okay? Let's copy that. Let's create ourselves a new line over here, and again, we just kind of make that a bit smaller so we can fit it all together. A little bigger here, okay? Now, let's go ahead and connect it to the next portion over here. A lot of similarities, but also a couple of slightly different elements that we need to look at, okay? So let's copy that, move this out of the way, and paste that over here, okay? See how this works? Okay, let's kind of try to get this to be as similar in size as possible. How's that? I think that's pretty close. Okay, good. So, take a look from here to here, very similar to what we had previously. Take a look at that, right? Here to here, very much the same, okay? So you can look at that and see and have that already learned. There's just one more element that's being added. If you look very carefully, okay? Again, just as you can see, we're back in the F clef down here. So there's one extra note over here, as you can see. But you know, your hands, your poor fingers over here, just unless you're, you know, Andre the Giant, there's no way you can actually reach all three of those notes. So what we do here, there's a little word in French, main droite. That's for the right hand in French. And what you're going to do is your right hand's going to take that top note over there. And let's kind of count that down. Remember, fall down ball. So that's going to be a B flat that your right hand will take right over here. Okay. So the right hand, you can use any finger you like. I kind of prefer to use like a 2 or a 3 or something. And you play that together with the left hand over here. See how that works? Okay. And then you jump up together. All right. So you have that. Now, instead of doing what we did before, going back down to the E flat, now we're moving up to this element over here. Okay, so this is a new chord that we have to take a look at. All right. In fact, what I may do is just, let's just get started with this, and I think we're going to have to spend the next lesson taking it apart. There are some similarities. Let me just play it through for you so you kind of get a preview of what's coming up next. Okay, so together here. What's going to happen is you're going to notice that there's going to be a lot of patterns returning to chords, and then the most difficult thing is going to be this little extra fast note. We're going to take a look at that more in detail next time. So let me stop here for now. I've given you a little preview of what's coming up next, and then we'll go and spend next lesson specifically taking apart these notes and putting the whole thing together, and we can kind of give it some justice. Okay, I'll see you at the next lesson.